Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Kinston where police have identified the man who's been dubbed a car door puller. Police say they were called to a report of a person trying to break into a car on Dubose Drive at around 9:30 p.m. yesterday. The victim provided officers with security video that showed the suspect involved. An investigation led officers to arrest 40-year-old Frankie Tucker Jr. Tucker was charged with attempted breaking and entering, and he was taken to the Lenoir County Jail and posted a $1,500 bond. Now, police urge residents to remove valuables from their cars and to keep them locked. Now, we also want to highlight news out of Washington where President Trump again is being bombarded by Epstein file drama. NBC's Peter Alexander has the latest from D.C.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Overnight, President Trump ignoring questions about his longtime relationship with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Mr. President, can you respond to these Epstein emails that were released today?
The latest round of scrutiny follows the House Oversight Committee releasing more than 20,000 documents from Epstein's estate. They include a 2019 email where Epstein, who would soon be indicted on sex trafficking charges, referenced President Trump, writing, "Of course he knew about the girls," as he asked Ghislaine to stop. That's a reference to Epstein's former girlfriend and co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, who is currently serving 20 years for charges including conspiring to sex traffic minors. In another email from 2011, Epstein telling Maxwell, "I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump," adding, "A victim, whose name is redacted, spent hours at my house with him." The White House says the redacted victim is Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most prominent accusers, who died by suicide earlier this year, but never accused Mr. Trump of any wrongdoing. Epstein continuing to reference Trump in later emails, writing in 2015 to a New York Times reporter, quote, "Would you like photos of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen?" The White House pushing back.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong.
And the president calling the story a hoax on social media, arguing Democrats are trying to deflect on how badly they've done on the shutdown. While the president has denied any wrongdoing, the Epstein scandal has not gone away. House Speaker Mike Johnson now promising he'll put the future of the Epstein files on the floor for a vote next week, an effort Democrats, along with multiple House Republicans, support. One, Thomas Massey, saying that the White House asked some of them to change course unsuccessfully, urging his colleagues to join the effort.
The record is going to last longer than Trump's presidency.
And again, that was Peter Alexander reporting. We now want to turn to your weather forecast, and it's pretty consistent across the east over the next few days. We're looking at air temperatures largely reaching into the low mid-60s, but more importantly, we're not seeing any rainfall. Now, that could be good for some of you. Maybe kids got soccer practice later on, but for those of you who maybe want to do some burning, you've got a whole bunch of leaves, whole bunch of pine needles in your backyard, I really want to caution you to resist burning. At least for now. We get rain, well, we've got a minimal rain chance coming in next week, but again, right now the air is very dry. Air temperature is currently in the mid-50s, closer to the Elizabeth City area, but down near Jacksonville, we're looking at more of the mid-60s, 65 in Jacksonville, 66 in Kenansville, and then you've got a nice temperature gradient that pretty much encompasses all of eastern North Carolina, going from 55 to around 50, 56. Now, over the past 24 hours, air temperatures have really come up substantially, unless you're watching around the Albemarle Sound, where you've really only seen about a 2 to 4 temperature rise. But areas around Lenoir County, Greene County, Jones, Onslow, Duplin, you guys are up at least 10 degrees on top of what you saw yesterday at this current time. Now, winds would suggest that we should actually be cooling down. We've got quite a bit of sunshine and again, a thicker level of air rolling in, and that's going to increase the heat throughout eastern North Carolina. So winds right now out of the northwest, these winds again have been a little bit higher than what we're actually seeing, but direction is fairly consistent with, again, our current readings. Later on tonight, those winds are going to be going not quite calm, but certainly a lot lighter than what we've got right now, turning more northerly for tomorrow. So are we really going to warm up a whole bunch from today to tomorrow? Most likely no. Those northerly winds, while they're going to bring in cooler air, it's going to kind of counteract the effects of the sunshine. So what we'll really kind of see is temperatures just holding steady from yesterday to today and today into tomorrow. mid-60s range, but then as we head into the weekend, those winds will start to swing around to the southwest, and that's really going to help boost not only humidity, which will eventually help solve our rainfall issue, but it will also bring up your air temperatures. That is going to feel fantastic over the weekend. A high pressures on the way means that really we've got a fairly straightforward sky condition prognostication. 63 for today, 64 for tomorrow, and then hello to the 70s. Saturday, ECU game taking on Memphis, going to be a wonderful day to get out there and cheer on some Pirates, especially with overnight lows only dropping down to the mid to upper 50s. That's going to keep game time feeling comfortable from start to finish. So if even after the game you want to go out for a tailgate, temperatures are going to allow for that to happen without a jacket even. 75 degrees on Sunday, and then we get a cold front in. It will knock air temperatures down a bit, but still sitting around our seasonal average on Monday and Tuesday, warming back up above average Wednesday and Thursday. But what's most important is that rain right now, it looks fairly weak. Hopefully we can get a little bit more out of that system, but with, again, dew points expected to be down most likely in the 40s at that time, there's really not going to be a whole lot of moisture within the air to get squeezed out by that passing front. Well, that's all we have time for today's 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic Thursday.